Just hopping on real quick to make a video about NWEA and clarify any concerns you might have. This is just a sample, sort of like a growth summary report that I have here. And I just want to explain a little bit about how to read the report, because it can be a little bit confusing. So, for example, this student in the fall, for reading. In the fall, this student tested at 169. And so the computer will take this score and they will set a new goal. So her next goal for winter was 185. 172 was where this student ended up, kind of coming up just a little bit more. Did show growth, but not enough growth as to what we were looking for. So it's kind of misleading when you look at this. Well, in the winter, it looks like, this person, he or she or whoever, made enough growth. There is some growth here. We can see that. But you have to remember that it will calculate the fall score of the student with this new score right here. We certainly want our students to be making adequate growth. I mean, from fall to winter, that's a couple months there of a lot of really good learning where they should be achieving this bar. For math right here, this is confusing too, because you can see that there was maybe low growth here in the fall, 140. So the computer will set his new goal at 161 for the winter. This student exceeded that expectation to 175, but may still not be showing enough growth. So when we come over here, we can kind of see, the different areas that we're assessing here. Operations and algebraic thinking, that's just basically addition, subtraction, fact families, things like that. Measurement and data, we'll get into that really heavily in about a month here. Geometry as well. Number and operation, I mean, these two are similar. Algebraic thinking is basically solving for the unknown. But number and operation, that's also, some of that fluency piece, addition, subtraction. So those are similar. But basically, you'll see like the color coding too. So it will say, we've got some green and some yellow over here for the fall, and it will state at the bottom that green means that was an area of strength for him. And then over here, if there's yellow, that's an area of possible concern. So, it's kind of tricky to read the data sometimes. That's why I did want to go over it. Monday was when I had hoped to send home their progress reports, but I'm going to send home the goal worksheet with them. And I'm hoping, I'm going to flip this back around here for a second, because it will say here, student signature and parent signature. This is a worksheet, I like to think of it. It's informative, yes, but we've got to have some sort of goal planning, for our fall assessment. Got to make sure that the students are reaching enough growth. So I need to see that you and the student have both talked about it. And then right over here, just put the date. Don't worry about instructor signature. I'll fill that out when I get it back, but the date. And then it will say the student's action plan. So when you look right up here, we've got to have an action plan. Now, some of the kids did fly through the test, and I was really disheartened by that, because we did talk about, questions being on there that would be tricky. We did talk about that. We talked about what the students could do if they came to a question that they didn't know. There was a little video of a boy kind of going through the same things that they might experience and how he handled that. Basically, it was going through a process of elimination. And then you only have a couple choices left that it could be, then clicking your best guess. I offered students whiteboards, if they were breaking syllables, Sofa. Where would you put the syllable bar? Fa. Sofa. And they wanted to know, I remember on the test, how many syllables were in the word sofa. And so we had the whiteboards. I passed all those out, the markers. And a lot of students didn't utilize those at all. They just kind of guessed. And a lot of them got the problems wrong, when I know if they really would have maybe took a little bit more time, they could have gotten that. Same thing for math. You know, we had some double digit addition, there was some subtraction, and instead of writing it out or drawing it out, the students would just click. So that's unfortunate, because now I don't know what the students know. So that's difficult for me. Now here I am after NWEA is finished, and I'm trying to get my new groups put together, and I have students who rush through. Now they're going to end up being put into a lower math or reading group because of what the data shows. So I don't want to waste their time being in the wrong group, and days and weeks go by and something isn't looking right. Well, I've just wasted all that time, before figuring out where to put them for their best fit. So really stress the importance of taking their time when they do these assessments. Mr. Collins does have a little Skittles chart that he has printed off for all the students. And, soon the kids will be telling you how many of these Skittles they've earned. I'm still adding up points and things like that, so it'll still take me a while to pass out the Skittles. But he's just trying to get across the importance that it is seriously important for the kids to really think before they click, just so we can get accurate data and know best of what areas to attack for the students next. We want them ready for second grade, and this is one of the most effective tools that we have at our disposal. So just basically go over the sheet with your student, talk about, pitfalls, successes. I always like to tell the kids that, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And that is so true. We know what their goal is, but what's the plan? What's the plan to get them to reach their goal? What are they going to do differently next time? What mistakes did they make this time? It's perfectly acceptable to point those out, talk about them, and talk about what we'll do differently next time. But I think just having the kids involved in that process is powerful. It puts them in the driver's seat, and it makes them feel as though they are part of this, and then they're invested. I really would like to see them with some good scores for their second grade teachers, and have them feeling proud as well as you and me. I know I'm proud of them, and tell them that all the time. But I want them to feel proud of themselves too. So just sit down with that summary sheet, go over it with the kids, sign it, have them sign it. Please return it by Friday if possible. I would really like to collect these and kind of see what kind of plans the kids came up with. Scootpad is going to really save the day. There are so many Common Core NWEA concepts on there that are covered. There's great little video tutorials if the kids get the answer wrong, so it can pop up and kind of show them, whoops, this is what we're really looking for. This is really how you solve that equation. So there's so much learning on Scootpad. So I really urge you, once I send those login cards home, to really sit down and get that set up. On my computer, when my kids did Scootpad, of course I had them doing Scootpad. I saw the benefits then. I still see the benefits now. We just, on the computer, we just saved it to, we favorited it to our bookmarks bar. And I would like to beg you to keep their little logins and their passwords inside the very cover of their homework folder. That way, if you've got a split family, when they take the folder to dad's house, he's got the password. When he's at mom's house, she's got the password, and the student isn't left, without being able to practice. If you have internet issues, I had a family last year who mom said they were having a hard time getting internet because of where they live. So on certain days of the week, she would go to she would take her daughter to grandma's house, and they would have dinner, and then she would hop onto Scootpad. But we really need to be on there as often as we are basically with Reflex. Scootpad is ELA and math, so you might find your student on Reflex a little bit less often. We will be doing it in the classroom, so Scootpad cannot be done independently. I repeat, Scootpad cannot be done independently. You've got to sit with your child and do Scootpad just like you would paper pencil homework. It's going to be at your child's developmental level. So if your student is on the higher end of first grade, emergent second grade, then it will be introducing different concepts, prepositional phrases, gerunds, etc. You might, in math, you might be dividing fractions. It depends on how high your student is. But it will meet the kids where they are developmentally. But some of these new concepts or new phrases will need you there to kind of explain it to your student so they can then do the clicking part and the interactive piece with it. I think that's pretty much it. So next Friday, look forward to the Scootpad information. Again, keep it in that safe little front pocket, not the pocket on the inside of the folder, but the actual outside cover is clear, so you shouldn't need to take that password or username out. Just like on the back of the folder, we have their sight word assessment page, that green page. It's a clear page, so you should be able to see their weekly sight word scores right through that, so it's not pulled out and lost or left at home. I know I'm kind of throwing a lot at everybody right now, so if you have any questions, put those questions right underneath, and I will do my best to address it. I used to have a parent meeting at this time of the year, but so many people were unable to attend, and I just found that making these videos was something that really could meet everybody's schedule and answer the questions that everyone had. So if you have a question, do not feel silly about asking it, because if you have that question, I guarantee you other people do too. And it just helps everybody out. So ask the question if you have it. I'm hoping that these videos are helpful. Again, if you have any questions, please pop them at the bottom, and I'll do my best to not make them clear as mud. Happy Saturday.